Welcome back to Case Closed, Anime Review, episode number 39. This is reviewing the 10th Case Closed film, Private Eyes, The Private Eyes Requiem. Yes, this film was released, I believe, 2006, if I'm not mistaken. Just making sure. This film was released in, 2006. Yeah, and this basically does something quite unusual. Okay, this film has the Kaito Kid show up in the film. He only appears in like two scenes the whole film. Well, he appears in a flashback later on. His first appearance, I'm like, yeah, this is completely out of character for him. Okay, you have Kaito, who is the Kaito Kid, and he appears in broad daylight. I'm thinking, he's called the Moonlight Magician. He does all of his crimes at night. Why in the world is he flying around daytime for? Yeah, this really makes no sense at all for him to do, though this does set up a second scene in the film where he storms this particular room, which supposedly, because people are after this is loosely related to the actual thing. It's almost like the Kyle Kitso was added pretty much as a side story for this particular. It's basically a B. It's basically, if you look at it, it's pretty much the B plot. It doesn't get a lot of attention at all. And then, like, right after the scene, the character himself, aside from a flashback, is never seen again after this. Of course, he gasses the whole room with guys basically who were trying to kill him. And then, yeah, that's it for him. He's done. Yep. We also have the PI from the high school detective character, Hakura. Yeah, he shows up. Now, in the course of this film, he meets Conan and Harley for the first time. Despite the fact that in the anime, well, Conan's already met him before. Here it's to say, yep, he met like the first time. Harley makes sense the fact he's never met before, but Conan, yeah, he's met before this film even came out. Now, Habaru and Harley have met once in the anime, canon-wise, and that was his second appearance in the series. Yeah, it's something though that when it comes to he's there. In case you wonder how many scenes he's in, he's seen. Like, he doesn't get much screen time. This is also the first time he's appeared in one of the movies. And it's the first time he appears in an episode featuring Case Closed, and he appears in the same story as the Kaito Kid. But here's the weird thing. He has no interaction with him at all the entire story. And that's kind of stupid. He's from his damn series, one of his supporting characters. And he doesn't show up. Also, he's dragged into the main plot of this thing. Okay, the plot is simply this. Richard Moore is hired by this mysterious client. So he brings on with him his daughter, the Junior Detective League, and that's it. He brings on with him, and, well, they sit him on the chair. These chairs in this meeting room, and they all give him these bracelets. And then pretty much, like, apparently, like, Conan notices something's really wrong. Of course, Conan's really Jimmy Kudo. He knows that these chairs are different in this room. It's later revealed that inside the armrest of one of the chairs is a fingerprint reader. Yep. And the guy who's pretty much behind all this, Asperu, yeah, they don't know what his name's like. He does they confirm his name. It's like toward the end of the movie. He has a fingerprint scanner, and this is how he finds out Conan sees Kudo. That is quite ingenious. I never thought basically that anybody can find out his identity via his fingerprints. Interesting. Maybe Conan show basically has a goddamn ultimate fingerprints. Now, in case you're wondering, is there any new gadgets pop up in the movie? The answer is no. These are the gadgets used the whole movie. You have the detective way badges. They pop up in the movie. The power shoes. The voice changing belt. The tranquilizer. The power suspenders. The soccer ball thing. Yeah, that pops up in here. Yeah, like almost every gadget show up in the series shows up in here as well. Yeah, even the flashlight. It's like, wow. It's like they really like had this film where he uses like every single gadget Gasa makes for him. Yeah. Hmm. Now here's the thing. Apparently the bracelets. Now they're all given bracelets, And then basically I'll go play in Miracle Land while they basically solve a case. And Conan has to stay. Like, okay. Yeah, it's revealed that that these ID bracelets have, well, the ones that Ren and June technically got, they have explosives in them. Yes, explosives. And they activate as soon as they enter the park. And they have to stay in the park the entire day. Must be a bummer. Heck, Serena pops up in this movie. Yeah, she does affect the plot, but she at least is in the movie. She does affect the plot very mildly. At one point, she does affect the plot for like one scene. The rest of the time, she just stands around, doesn't do anything. But at least she's there. She doesn't disappear halfway. The movie pops up for like a quick cameo, like, "Hi, I'm here." Also, Ren's mom pops up in this movie for like a brief cameo. Like, oh my gosh, it is so freaking ridiculous. Okay, they throw in Eri Kuski, Ren's mother, her beautiful mother. Her father ignores because they don't like each other very much. Oh yeah, and here's the thing: she's a terrible cook. Yes. Yeah, Richard Moore calls her up, asks about a particular thing, go investigate it, and never follow up with. Yeah, I bet the voice actor like, thank you for the paycheck. Thank you for allowing me to use my character. Can I get my paycheck now? Yeah, because Eri doesn't reappear after this particular scene. She's seen briefly in her office, and that's it. Quick cameo. Does it affect the plot? Nope, not really. It just basically has investigated something we already do. Yeah, Harley's in this movie too, along with Katrin. Yeah, they're in the movie. Katrin doesn't do very much in the movie. Matter of fact, she does nothing. Harley does a lot more in the plot than she does. She's just there because, well, they interact with each other. And unlike in the series, in the canon, where Katrin has only seen Serena like once in a canon story, this is the third film in a row where she's shown up and she interacts with Serena as like they're close friends. Despite the fact in the canon story, these two have barely interact with each other. Yep. Trying to think though, what else? So you have to go find these particular things, find these hints, like go to this particular building, and of course they also go to a university which is based on a real life university in Japan. Yeah. Where they investigate this particular club. That's where they find out the identity of the guy who hired them, one of the victims, and somebody who possibly committed suicide. Yeah, it was easy. Like, I call it out pretty easily, the fact that she actually committed suicide. Well, one thing, didn't find a body, so that means they're probably alive. As for how the heck she survived jumping off a freaking cliff, they don't show it. They never explain it at all. It's like, oh, she just survived. Yeah, it was completely predictable, the fact that she survived. Well, because they mentioned, oh yeah, she committed suicide. Despite the fact we actually saw her prior to her actually making a reference by name. Yeah, we see her in a car watching everybody. Doesn't really affect anything. As a matter of fact, she doesn't get involved in the plot until like the last 30 minutes of the movie. Yep. Oh, what is the Cow Kid show? Oh yeah, he does show up like one other scene. Helps out the kids, prevent a death, and that's it. He was completely useless in this story, except for like one scene. I'm kind of like, okay, they throw in the Kaido Kid and they don't have him affect the plot at all. Yeah, they have. Oh yeah, they have the Inspector constantly chasing him. He shows in the movie for like one scene, and then he's never seen again. I'm like, yeah, this is very similar to the last time he showed up in the movie that features the Kaido Kid. Well, in the dub, the dub version, basically, and he had a dub actor for the Inspector show up, and he pops up for one scene, and then he's never seen again. Yeah, it was a scene with the whole Scorpion one. I think it was the fourth or fifth film where he showed up, and he shows up for a quick scene, and he's never seen again. He's not even mentioned after this at all. Actually, I think he does show up one other time, but that's it. Yeah, great use of the characters from the Magic Isle series, have them affect nothing in the main story. Yeah. Oh yeah, what happened to Habaru? He actually disappears. Yep, pops up for two scenes, works along with Conan and Harley, then disappears. No explanation. Also, the reason why he got involved was because someone precious to him is held captive in the park. Who it is? Movie doesn't bother to explain it at all. I mean, it could be his housekeeper, could be his bird. Answer? They don't buy. It's like the people who wrote this movie just didn't care. It's like, okay, let's just throw in this character because it's from the Magic House series and have affect very little the plot. Like, wow. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And of course, Hybra is the only one of the very people outside of basically who actually knows about the truth about the bracelets and has to keep Rachel, and Concha in the park. At one point, she faked fainting in order to keys in the park. Also, Saito and Takagi in this movie, they first show up basically on a date in Miracle Land where they have curry. As for what the excuse was why he's able to do here, like, it's possible he skipped work. They don't say. It's like, oh, he's on a date with Saito. Okay. And next time you see him, he's bringing ice cream for Saito. And this is right after a guy who they suspect to be a purse thief. Yeah. And he takes the adorable Amy hostage. And then, of course, well, Serena basically is able to knock Amy out of his arms. And then, of course, she runs right into Rachel's arms, which I thought that was quite nice because she's Rachel's like a big sister. And then, of course, and then you have and then he takes Saito hostage. And, of course, well, Santos and McGuire's like, yeah, you should have done that. Because she basically gives him a German suplex. Yeah. And, of course, Gaga's like, what? Oh, my gosh. Yeah. It is so hilarious. Yeah, this purse thief shows up for 2 scenes and then he's never seen again. Not even mentions like he possibly got arrested or whatever. It's so bizarre. Yeah. And then they actually go back and apparently when they kind of also at one point when they go to the first clue, he gets briefly arrested by the police for possibly being an associate of the Kaito Kid. Despite the fact he has never associated with the Kaito Kid at all. As a matter of fact, he's never had an on-screen encounter with the Kaito Kid. I think he's seen him once. Of all the times Kaito Kid showed up, he's only seen him once in person. He's never actually talked to him. He's never actually, done anything to affect his thefts. Yeah. Almost like what's the point in fighting him? Yeah. And how can the inspector not know who the heck... How can these people not know who Richard Moore is? Yeah, these police detectives are so stupid. It's like they arrest Mr. Moore because Richard Moore for being a possible associate of the Kaito Kid, even though that he has never associated with the Kaito Kid at all, and it's very flimsy evidence, and he gets arrested. He gets released anyways. Heck, even McGuire points out though, yeah, arresting Moore is stupid because they have no evidence to prove he's an associate of the Kaito Kid. He was released anyways. And then, of course, well, they go up separately after Yasuma, who, yeah, he's in his movie, making his first film appearance. Yeah, he pops up for a few scenes, doesn't do very much at all. He's involved in the Kaito Kid plot for some reason. Yeah, for a character who is a very serious character, or a very serious person who's a twin brother of another guy. He's a guy who, I mean, he pops in the movie and he does very little. I mean, his only contribution to the whole plot is saving a little boy from explosion. Yeah, that's his only contribution. And somehow McGuire knows him despite the fact that prior to this movie, these two have never met. Nope, they never have met. My guess is his brother might have mentioned it to him at some point, but I have no idea. It's particularly very bizarre. You have characters interact with other characters who... Also, you have McGuire interact with the inspector who goes after the Kaito Kid. Yeah, he knows who he is. Probably by reputation, despite the fact that if you watch the anime, these two have... Well, I think they've had on-screen encounter like maybe once. It wasn't like a regular thing, like every time the Kaito Kid showed up, McGuire had to make a physical appearance. I mean, if you look at, let's say, the Kato Kid series, Magic 1412. Do you know how many times McGuire showed up in the damn series? He showed up for like 3 episodes. And that was it. That's all he did. Mostly it was like, one was actually an adaptation of a Magic manga, where he actually physically appearing. The only other time he showed up in this series was basically readaptation of stuff from Case Closed. Yeah. Yeah, eventually they do go back and stop Richard Moore from revealing the wrong person. Of course, the guy's secretary is taken out by the tranquilizer. He's about to do the whole sleep more thing, but that goes nowhere. Of course, Harley knocks him out, and thanks to a tense techno moment, able to stop the bombs. And here's the thing: there are 3 cases here: the Kaioken's theft, the accident, and the armed robbery. Yeah, all take place in the same day. Yeah. But the spy film has good pacing, good writing for the most part for some of these characters, and, well, interesting characters. It's just that the problem is the Magic Howl characters are pretty much just shoved to the side and affect zero of the plot. I mean, you have 3 characters in the damn series show up. You have the main character, the inspector constantly chases him, and the high school detective shows up. Yeah. I mean, you bring them in the damn film and they do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. I think overall, Magic Howl, I think Kaito Kid gets roughly about 5 minutes of screen time. Yeah, he just pops up like there and again. Also, apparently did the animators make him a little bit taller than he normally appears? Yeah, apparently, possibly people who did this film did not know his height because they made him about 3 inches taller. It looked like they made him 3 inches taller than he normally appears, which I thought that was kind of dumb. Yeah. Not really bad movie per se, but yeah, I'm sure the creator was not very happy that 3 of his characters were given nothing to do in a film featuring the cast of Case Closed. Yep. By the way, the Sonic Santos follows around McGuire the whole movie. He does nothing the whole plot. He just sees everything. He doesn't do anything at all. And here's the weird thing about this character. He's appeared in like almost every single film so far. I mean, the first couple of films they got a chance to do something. But the past few films he's done nothing. He just shows up and just stands there a lot of the time. He doesn't even draw his gun. Yeah. Yeah. But aside from my only negative, aside from the Kyle cast being pretty much shafted this whole movie, is the plot is somewhat weak in a way. I mean, it's interesting and exciting, the whole thing of trying to prevent the death of all these characters. That's fine. Also, I think Serena basically is in the film just to be a useless character. She doesn't know anything at all. She affects very little of the plot. It's almost like they just threw her in here because, well, why not? I mean, writing-wise, it felt a bit rushed. Yeah. And as for the whole thing of the culprit being the former president, yeah, it was kind of predictable the fact we saw his freaking glasses. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, second film in a row, a mysterious character has glasses. Yeah. Though at least this guy is blind, the other one, of course, basically is just a guy with similar look. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I thought it was funny that Moore thought that he thought the ID belt was basically his own belt, and basically dropped the pants to basically show off his plaid boxers. I thought it was so funny. Yeah. I like the fact, second film in a row, he's actually pretty competent what he does, but he was about to be the wrong culprit. But lucky enough, yeah, they were the right culprit. My only problem with the villain is that, well, he's not interesting at all. And also, despite the fact he can't see, I'm sure he can move his damn wheelchair. And apparently he just doesn't want to move it at all, which I thought was quite stupid. Yeah, apparently he can only move his hands and maybe his face. That's it. He can't turn his head. He can't turn a damn chair. Nope. This is probably by far the most laziest villain I have ever seen. for any of these films. And his secretary, wow, he is such a useless tool. It's like, what was the whole point of this film when it comes to villains? Yeah. Like, the only thing in this movie, unlike in the last film where the villains were actually quite interesting, this film, it's like, yeah. At least this time they're actually in town, not going out like the last couple films. Yep. Well, at least gotta praise the fact that the cast of Case Close get something to do. They're not shafted like the Kato Kid character, like the Magic Cow characters are. Yeah. I'm hoping next time I see these movies, please do not shaft them. And also, why is it that you have Yakuza show the movie and you have him basically do nothing aside from be a victim of something, a freaking bomb? Yeah. Yeah, and also that the villain thinks that the police are useless for some reason. Yeah, his motivation for all this is not thoroughly explained. It's like completely left up in the air. Oh yeah, and he doesn't die. Hell, he gets arrested, and Harley gets, well, wounded in the, he gets shot in the leg and the arm, and Conan at one point when he was chased by a couple of assassins, he broke his freaking leg. Also, the whole plot involving, well, the whole these particular character, I think it's going to be explored in the movie, which I will cover in my next review. But yes, it's like some parts of the movie were set from an OVA, the rest basically were just stuff for the movie. But yeah, that's particularly it. Oh yeah, and also they also have this really adorable scene where you have Conan being held by the woman he loves. They'll be carried piggyback. And they even got a chance to ride the snake ride. They've been hinted this ride the whole movie. And they got a chance to ride it, despite the fact, yeah, they got a chance to finally ride it. But how the order is quite interesting. In the front car, you have Serena and Amy. Behind them is Mitch and George. And you have Hybra all by herself. And then you have Kachin and Harley. And in the last car that has characters, you have Conan and Rachel. Interesting. I like the fact they did this, which I thought was quite interesting. Yep. Yeah, and of course this is also the last time we see the Kaito Kid. Yeah, and the movie ends basically. Also, they had this detective appear in this one scene who apparently Richmore knows, and yeah, he actually faked his death. Yep. For money. Yep. For money. Despite the fact the guy who was basically bankrolling this was like his company basically was really bankrupt. So how the heck did he able to do all this? Never revealed. It's like whatever they put. It's like whatever they had planned for this character was either cut for time out of the script or cut out of the film itself. Yeah. That's just my personal guess, anyways. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. I don't think I have time to actually review the OB, which I'm planning to do that next. But I'll probably review it tomorrow, along with the next two Case Closed films. And that's basically oh yeah, not only next to Case Closed films, but also my whole video from Comic Con, because I'm going to Comic Con tomorrow, okay? But see you in the next video. Bye.